Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. If you have not been living under a rock, you have heard about the rise of cryptocurrency and obviously the rise of NFTs like Cryptopunks, Meebits, Bored Ape Yacht Club, all of the other ones that have come and hit the market so massively and risen so much. A lot of people entered with Top Shot. A lot of new people are coming in through the new DraftKings NFTs with Tom Brady and Wayne Gretzky. This video is to try and teach you how to get on board. If you're interested, if you're watching this video, you already know what everything is. We're not going to get into the who's and the what's. This is not financial advice. This is not telling you what to buy or when to buy it. This is telling you if you are trying to get into the NFT game, if you're trying to get into the NFT market and buy something yourself, this is a guide to help you get on that highway. So without further ado, let's go. For this video, I'm not going to be alone. I've brought on an old friend of mine, Peter Jennings, formerly of Fantasy Labs, formerly of the Daily Fantasy Edge podcast with myself and Adam Levitan, and now he has started a founder and the CEO of a brand new company, Lucky Trader. So, Pete, why don't you tell everybody what Lucky Trader is, what you guys are doing with this new company? First of all, congratulations, and why should everybody go and check out Lucky Trader?
Yeah, we're really excited at Lucky Trader. Our goal is to be the highway of modern finance. We want people to be able to on-ramp into all these different things, from crypto to NFTs to alternative investing. And along that highway, there's all these different exit and on-ramps. We've talked about them a bunch on different streams and different things. You know, maybe you're really into Cryptopunks, Zed, NBA Top Shot, DeFi, or maybe you just want to get some interest on your crypto assets. So all those different things can be both exits for people to learn about those different NFTs or different assets, or on-ramps if you're just really passionate, say, about Zed, then you could learn about these other things. So our goal is to kind of aggregate a lot of those things and bring people onto this modern finance highway.
Okay, so let's start. Why don't we just start at the beginning? What is an NFT? And we don't have to spend that much time here talking about what are NFTs, because if people are watching this video, they've already been introduced at least a little bit and they're inquisitive. So let's go over this really quickly. What are NFT, non-fungible tokens?
Yeah, it's a non-fungible token. So it's different from, say, Bitcoin, which are fungible tokens. The one Bitcoin maybe I have and the one Bitcoin you have, they're the same. We could trade those and there's no difference between them. Whereas non-fungible tokens are different assets on these various blockchains. The majority of them are on Ethereum. We've seen some other blockchains pop up like Flow or NBA Top Shot, which is probably kind of the biggest funnel for people getting into NFTs. And there's some other blockchains that are supporting them as well. And the way I like to think about it is it's basically a way to have digital ownership of something on the blockchain that's liquid, that can trade 24/7, 365. So we've seen a ton of things pop off in the space. Probably the most popular forms of NFTs right now are collectibles and art. And I think it's going to really evolve, and that'll be kind of the next generation and where things ultimately go. We'll see other things pop up. For the most part, most of them are collectibles and art. Maybe my favorite example that doesn't fit into that boat is Zed right now, which I think is really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're totally changing the game. You're seeing a ton of celebrities and influencers get involved. And I think it's really going to change how people consume things. And we've seen some cool stuff with music, which is another avenue that I think NFTs can be really helpful for. And yeah, obviously the main thing that people are attracted to right now, which isn't sustainable forever, but is cool because it's kind of a revolution that's happening, is the wild price increases and the speculation around some of these assets. So that's been driving a lot of mainstream attention. And yeah, it's an exciting time to be in the space.
Yeah, I mean, the get rich quick aspect is always going to be really attractive to people. For anything, right? So like we've seen things like Cryptopunks, which granted the entry point for Cryptopunks in January and February was not what a normal person can afford to jump in at. Like these were selling for like $20,000 or the equivalent of 20,000 USD, 30,000 USD, but now we're seeing them go for like 500,000, 900,000, $10 million for these Cryptopunks that have really kind of exploded. There's something that we talk about in the NFT marketplace is floor price. And I'll get into what these sites are in a little bit, but like the floor price for CryptoPunks is completely non-existent. There is no floor because there are none listed for a buy it now price.
Well, it's all relative, right? And then of course, there's different things, right? Right now, as we're recording this here on August 20th, 2021, the cheapest CryptoPunk is 48.69 Ethereum for sale, 158,000, which seems absolutely insane when you show people these pixels. But CryptoPunks are really cool. They have one of the best stories, in my opinion. The first successful NFT project. The story is amazing. The developers at Larva Labs created these, gave away 9 of the 10,000. And I think they're just kind of the ultimate digital flex that you can have, right now, where Jay-Z has a CryptoPunk as an avatar.
Odell Beckham Jr. just added his yesterday.
Right.
Des Bryant had one for a while. So
it's history. I actually have grown to like kind of not even kind of, I obsessed with these things. So I actually like the art now. All the attributes are really interesting to think through. And it's digital jewelry, it's digital flexing. And these, in my view, are like the top collectible in the space. So I think there's a really cool place for that. We've seen a ton of avatar projects kind of sprout off from this. In general, I'm pretty bearish on the majority of avatar projects, but we've seen some really cool examples. Bored Ape Yacht Club's probably the second biggest right now, or MeBits, which is another Larva Labs project. And Bored Ape Yacht Club's done a really good job with community. So there's obviously a place for it, but I'm most excited for kind of the future innovations that we'll see within NFTs.
Right. Now, we've mentioned 3 or 4 of the more successful projects out there, and there is, well, as you mentioned, there's 5 or 10 brand new NFT profile picture, right, avatar type NFTs that don't really do anything. They're just a flex on Twitter or on social media. The market is getting to the point where it may be flooded, where in 2 years, 95 or 99% of these types of NFTs are not going to be worth anywhere close what they're worth right now. So getting in and understanding risk is something that we're going to get into a little bit later in the video. But we need to talk about where do we start in order to buy? So like the first thing is, you mentioned that these are all blockchain items. Typically they all run on Ethereum. So the first step, if you want to get into NFTs, you either have to be holding Ethereum, you have to buy Ethereum. So we have to talk about an exchange. We have to talk about what's called a custodial wallet, which is basically like an exchange where you're going to use your USD to purchase Ethereum. Something like Coinbase, Gemini, whatever exchange you want to research and use. I'm not giving any advice on which one you should use. I'm just saying that that's where it starts and that's where they exist. The next step is you need a non-custodial wallet. And the one that I happen to use, the one that other people have used and we've discussed in other videos like the Zrun videos, that if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I've done a lot of how to start in Zrun. It's no different with pretty much 99% of all the other NFTs, especially on the secondary market, which is you need to set up a MetaMask, which will then work as kind of a go-between. It's the World Wide West of purchasing NFTs, right? You're not buying the Ethereum on MetaMask. You're buying it on like an exchange. You're transferring it to MetaMask, which can then communicate with OpenSea. And that's the next question. What is OpenSea? Yeah,
really well said. There's a variety of places you can get your Ethereum, and then you can ultimately move it over to MetaMask. That's what I personally use as well. One other tidbit, I have my MetaMask connected to a hardware wallet, which I think is another step that you can take.
Like a Trezor or whatever else?
Correct. Yeah. So that's another step that you can take for security, which is another thing. Just there's a lot of risk in this market, not just in terms of the prices, but understanding what you're doing, making sure you're not being stupid. Don't give away your private keys. I think taking any additional steps to enhance your security is really smart in the space. So read up on that stuff, and there's definitely good examples on this channel, and I think I'll explain things well. So assuming you have your MetaMask set up, now you have Ethereum. OpenSea is the biggest secondary market currently for NFTs. They've done an incredible job aggregating a lot of these projects, and you'll see a ton of these secondary sales. So if you wanted to buy CryptoPunks, for example, you can go to Larva Labs, the website itself, or you could go to OpenSea. Same thing with Zed, same thing with MeBits, Bored Ape Yacht Club. There's a variety of projects that are all on OpenSea, and it's definitely the biggest marketplace. And I actually really like the eBay analogy that you used earlier. And it's pretty incredible to see the amount of volume that OpenSea is doing. They've built an incredible business. So definitely familiar, make yourself familiar with all these different things. And on OpenSea, you can kind of see what projects are popping off, and certainly a great place if you wanted to sell items as well. You could list them on OpenSea, which you can do through your MetaMask as well.
I had a tweet up that I had set up that I tweeted out like a week or two ago, but I can't find it on my screen, and I don't want to stop the video to kind of do it, but I'll just mention it. Currently there are 60 million Coinbase wallets, give or take, right? Don't fact check me. It's around that freaking number. Okay. The worst thing to be in the world is wrong on the internet, right? So, as of like a week ago, there were 112,000 accounts, wallets on OpenSea. So no, it's not a one-to-one. I'm not falsely correlating the two and saying, well, there's eventually going to be 60 million OpenSea accounts. But if the gateway to buying on OpenSea is to having cryptocurrency, and the number one exchange to buy cryptocurrency is Coinbase, one would assume that that 112,000 number has a lot of legs and room to grow. So OpenSea will continue to grow, and so will the NFT market. Going back to one thing that you said about MetaMask that I wanted to kind of expand upon. When you start your MetaMask account, you're going to get a password and a seed phrase. Do not store your password and your seed phrase anywhere online. You need to act like Shawshank Redemption when he scribbled "Brooks is here" on the wall. Like, get a pocket knife and etch your seed phrase into the drawer of your desk or something. Put it in your safe, write it down on a solid envelope, and then put it in a safe that you have at home. Keep it somewhere that is secure. Do not keep it somewhere online. It's not something you want to keep in your Gmail. It's not something you want to keep anywhere else. It's once you get it, you write it down and you put it somewhere secure. That's the one thing that you're going to need, because you've heard these stories about people who have, I have a cryptocurrency wallet and I've got 1,000 Bitcoin that I had from 2011 when it was worth, one pizza, and now it's worth $48 billion and I can't access it because I don't remember my seed phrase, and it's going to self-implode if I type the wrong one in again. So keep it somewhere safe.
Yes, keep it somewhere safe. And I agree on the point you're making too. We're really early days. So there's a ton of speculation, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. But I'm obviously a bull, and I think we'll see more and more people adopt crypto over time. So I think the Coinbase number and just people that have cryptocurrency will continue to rise. And I think we'll see a convergence of people who are participating in these NFT marketplaces. So from just a long-term view, I'm confident that we're going to see both of those numbers go up and to the right, which will create a lot of opportunity. But at the same time, we're seeing all these new projects come out, and you really have to be aware of kind of the incentives and different reasons that people might pump or describe a project. So definitely do your research, and also have a long-term view, because I think we're going to just see a much more adoption of all these things going forward.
Yeah. So like, that's a very important thing, is like, I'm not trying to like pump any single bag that I may be holding at this point. Pete is not doing that either. I'm just trying to give you guys a roadmap if you wanted to get in, because I know that a lot of people have asked me, both on Twitter, in my Discord, and here in the replies on YouTube, about how do I buy like a Zed Run horse, because that's the one NFT that I'm most involved in, most vocal about through my YouTube videos. So there's two ways. We've spoken about OpenSea, which is the secondary market. That's like the eBay for NFTs. So if I was to take us over here and go to Zed Run and click on Marketplace, it says sold out. So the way that most NFTs are created, they either come in what's called a drop, where Zed will drop a bunch of horses onto the market, and everybody, it's a click fest to try and get one of the horses that's available. The other way is called minting. Some of these generative art projects like Bored Ape Yacht Club, like Cryptopunks, like Meebits, you're buying them sight unseen, and then once they're purchased and sold out, they start revealing. And then when you click on the individual, I can do this here on OpenSea, you can see that they all have different traits, and some of them are more rare than others. This one has a 4% hair color, 1% red plaid. You can sort by that only, and then see what the cheapest one on the market is, if the internet would actually load OpenSea. OpenSea, please don't choke on me in the middle of a video, please. You're making me look bad, OpenSea. Thank you. So like that one, which is kind of more rare is much higher. 3.8 is the lowest, 4.6, 4.9 is much higher than the floor price because of the rarity of that one attribute for that project. So how do you buy at a drop, and how do you get an NFT from mint?
Yeah, so there's a variety. Yeah, exactly. I think you explained it pretty well. Some of these projects will actually, from whatever location, whether it's on Zed or if it's on Larva Labs, or depending on the project, it might launch somewhere else. Oftentimes there'll be a release of the assets, and the assets at that time will have a set price, and basically the kind of luck of the draw in terms of like what type of asset you get within that. And for these avatar projects, the rarity has been the big kind of driver. So that's one way to go about it. Those are set price. During bull markets, those have turned out to be pretty good deals because you're getting for cheaper than what they ultimately sell for in the secondary market, which is why we've seen so many new projects come in, and then people come in trying to find the next Bored Ape Yacht Club, where they're like, oh, I'll buy in for 0.1 Ethereum now, and hopefully it goes up to Ethereum or something, or 1 Ethereum at that point on the floor. So that's one way you can go about it. And then there's some other ways, like you mentioned, with the minting process. And I think a really good example is with Zed. There's a variety of ways in which you can, obtain other horses outside of just the drops. There's the breeding element, which you've done a good job explaining. You certainly know more about that than me. Sounds like you had some success this morning with the breeding, which is really, really cool. And then, of course, you can buy things on the secondary market as well. Or the other interesting thing that people are doing more of, that I think will be a trend with a lot of these assets, is we're starting to see more trades. A lot of times you're able to transfer these assets via your MetaMask to other people's addresses. So we'll continue to see kind of the evolution on how all these things work. And I do think if you can be early to a project, there's obviously a lot of upside, but be very careful with these new projects, because there's normally a large incentive to the people who created it, who are oftentimes just looking to make money.
So the last thing that we have to talk about is gas. Nobody likes gas, right? You don't want to have to stand in line and wait for gas with your car. Your wife hates it when you have gas at night. How do you feel about gas in the NFT world?
I think it's one thing that's going to ultimately have to maybe not change, but we're seeing innovations on this, which I think is really cool. One thing that Zed did is they moved to the Polygon chain, which that's a layer 2 protocol on top of Ethereum that has much lower gas fees. And the same thing is applicable in DeFi, and we've seen it really happen within NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain, especially when there's a lot going on. Gas prices go up when people are all doing the same thing at once. So gas prices on Ethereum are and have been expensive at times. So you really need to be thoughtful about it. And that's why we're seeing some new blockchains come up. And that's kind of the genesis of NBA Top Shot and the Flow blockchain. There's obviously other assets, other projects built on Flow, which is ultimately run by Dapper Labs. But they built CryptoKitties back in 2017 and actually crashed the Ethereum blockchain. It wasn't ready for all the kind of all the different things that were going on with CryptoKitties. Just a huge burden on the network. So they created Flow specifically for NFTs. So we'll start to see more and more of that stuff. I think there's some interesting projects. Solana is doing stuff now for NFTs, but my view still is that Ethereum is the best place to buy because there's the most liquidity and developers on Ethereum. So you have to be careful though for just jamming all these different transactions, because gas fees can be high, and it's certainly something you should be thinking about when making purchases. So it's a long-winded answer. We're going to continue to see a lot of evolution in all of these things, but for right now, definitely be cognizant of gas prices. And if everyone's going to the same NFT drop at the same time, gas fees oftentimes will be really high at that point in time.
To the point where they can exceed the mint price of the item, where like the mint price could be 0.08 Ethereum, but the gas might cost you 0.12 Ethereum. So you're paying 0.2 for minting that one new NFT because of how many people are there. Think about it like a freeway in rush hour. Now I come from Los Angeles, so I'm pretty well-versed in rush hour traffic. Like imagine the 405 freeway in Los Angeles, which is the most trafficked freeway in the world. Think about that like Ethereum. If you're traveling at rush hour, imagine if it was a toll road, and if there were less people on it, it would cost less money to get on and drive. If there's more people on it, it would cost you more money because it's just that much of a bottleneck. So the more traffic that is being sent to purchase one item in one place at the same time, gas fees go up. It's kind of like sales tax. It just makes your Ethereum go away. So you do have to monitor if you're purchasing. If you're buying off the secondary market, gas fees tend to be pretty low. Minting is where they tend to go up. So Pete, thank you for being here. Best of luck with everything over at Lucky Trader. Guys, if you don't already, go follow Peter on Twitter. He'll have his Twitter handle will be down below. It's at CSURAM88 on Twitter, as well as at Lucky Trader, and with a link to their site as well. Go drop your email for them so that you can hear all the newest news when they start launching and putting out articles and videos and everything else that they're going to do. Really excited for you, Pete, in the new venture. Best of luck to you, and thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Al. We're really excited at Lucky Trader for all the developments that we'll have. knowyourhorses.com is also live right now. If you're really into Zed, Al's had those guys on his channel as well, and Al, keep up all the great work. I think this onboarding stuff is huge for getting people educated and informed to get into this really exciting new space.
Well, like I said, thanks for being here. And guys, want to do me a favor? Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and click one of the videos. Pick between who you like better on this video. Either click the video that's about to pop up over my face or over Pete's face.
He's a legend.